Hi, and welcome to Q&A Friday. Q&A Friday is an opportunity for me to answer any of your questions about body image, your relationship with food, and generally just about living an authentic life. So I'm going to get right to it and answer today's question. It's actually a follow-up from last week's question, or the last time I did this. Last time I addressed the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. And one of the questions that was a follow-up I thought would be good to do now because it seemed relevant given what we talked about in the last session. The question that I have today is, now that I'm aware of the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger, is it bad to eat from emotional hunger? And so the question itself was sort of asking, it went on to ask, I did recognize that there are often times that I am hungry, but it's really not physical, it's more emotional. And is that bad? Should I not be eating when I'm just realizing it's emotional hunger? Should I try to do something else? And I think this is a really good question, and I wanted to just dive into this for you because a lot of people feel confused around when they recognize that their hunger is more emotional, what to do with that. I want to make a statement first and foremost and just say nothing can be said across the board. What I want to kind of emphasize is that to say you should never eat from emotional hunger is dichotomous. It's very black and white thinking, and we want to try to avoid that. Of course you can eat when you recognize that your hunger is emotional. I mean, very few of us are actually hungry for birthday cake, and yet we eat it. We're usually not hungry for that Christmas cookie, and yet we eat it. We eat a lot in our life when it isn't about physical hunger, and it's part of our cultural practice. It's part of everyday life. So to think that we would never do that, it's unrealistic and it puts a lot of pressure on you. Of course, you're going to have times when you recognize that the hunger that you're feeling is emotional and you're going to go ahead and eat anyway. The key here, and the number one thing that you want to really try to put your emphasis on, is being mindful. You see, when you're aware of where your hunger is coming from, and you can differentiate between the fact that, okay, this is physical or this is emotional, then you are in the driver's seat. You are in a position to know what to do with that. If you know that, this is not physical hunger, this is just emotional hunger, and I'm going to go ahead and indulge in it, you're less likely to overeat because you're aware that this isn't real hunger. This is not me needing to satisfy my body. You are in a position where you're mindful, so you can say, you know what, let me just have one square of that chocolate or one piece of that cake. You create a mindfulness practice around food that allows you to check in, find out if it's emotional or if it's physical. And then once you have that information, you can then, remaining mindful, make a very empowered decision about what you want to do with it. You also have the option with emotional hunger to decide if you don't want to eat. You see, when we have emotional hunger, one of the questions we have to ask is, what is the emotion? So I used in the last Q&A Friday the example that oftentimes I will experience emotional hunger when I'm in the car, especially if I'm in traffic. And for me, the emotion is frustration. It's frustrating to be in traffic. You can't do anything. You can't get where you want to go. I think we've all had that experience. I don't know many people that enjoy sitting in traffic. And so the frustration piece is key to me because I can recognize, okay, I'm frustrated and I just want to eat something to just kind of numb out that frustration, get my mind off it. I don't actually have to do that. I can take some deep breaths, center myself, create a new thought, find a thought that's more positive, kind of, do that internal work that we do where we try to, give ourselves a different perspective or a mindset shift around it. And usually once I've done that, that frustration goes away. Or I can use a different distraction. I can try to listen to music. I can try to call somebody on the phone, even though I know talking on the cell phone is not the greatest thing to do in the car. But my point to you is you get a mindful response as opposed to an automatic response, okay? So that's the key to knowing the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. It's not always that you're not going to eat from emotional hunger. Of course you are. The thing is you want to do that mindfully. When you do that, you're in the driver's seat and you're going to make better decisions. So enjoy chocolate. Enjoy the things in your life that you like to indulge in because they are a treat, because they do have an association with something that is pleasurable. Food is like that. It's okay. Part of learning how to eat over a lifetime and getting off diets is learning that it is okay to eat when you want to eat. It is okay, and you need to give yourself permission to do so. What you want to do with the information that you get is make a mindful choice where you are the one making the decision and it's not coming from an automatic place or it's not happening unconscious. So anyway, I hope that was helpful and that answered your question. keep your questions coming, please. I enjoy answering them. You guys can email me. Go to my website. You'll get my email address. Or you can direct inbox me on my Facebook, which is Authentic Living. I look forward to answering your questions next time. Take care.